Greetings from Indian Medical Association Liberate Initiative. I am Dr. K.K. Agarwal, Honorary Secretary General. Welcome to our show, Ask the Specialist, where we interact with a specialist on a particular subject, specifically if it is linking to a health day of the country. Under this IMA Liberate Initiative, our Ask the Specialist program, today's host and today's expert is Dr. Animesh Arya, who is a medical director at Center for Chest Diseases, Allergy and Sleep Disorders at Shri Balaji Action Medical Institute, Delhi. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, sir.
Today is World Asthma Day, so we are going to link to asthma.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel that over a period of time the problem of asthma is increasing in the country?
Definitely, the asthma is increasing world over, and more so in developing countries, particularly in our country, in India, because of urbanization. And it is definitely linked to environmental degradation too. So there is definite increase, and people are suffering. More people are suffering, and the people who had suffered earlier are suffering worse than what they were suffering earlier.
How do I differentiate a childhood asthma versus an adult COPD, that is chronic obstructive airway disease or chronic bronchitis?
Usually, childhood asthma has very typical symptoms, and classically they are nocturnal or nighttime coughing. The child would suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, start to cough, sit down for a while, end up coughing, and then sleep off. This is spontaneous without any provocation. Or second would be he would be coughing or experiencing out of breath while exerting, particularly while playing or during climbing stairs in the school, and without any reason. There is no change in his infection or whatever. He suddenly starts to cough and wheeze. So this is basically three characteristic symptoms, that is nighttime wheezing or cough, exertional dyspnea on exertion, and unprovoked coughing or breathlessness in children. And whereas in adults, asthma and COPD is totally different. They come with some triggers, and they come with smoking in particularly or with environmental change, and they occur usually beyond 25-30 years of age, classically when the asthma phenotype or asthma prototype in an adult is set up.
The same question has been asked by a 34-year-old female Geeta from Gandhinagar, Gujarat, and her question is that is it necessary for an asthmatic to wheeze? Can an asthmatic present only with cough?
Yes, it is said that all that wheezes is not asthma, and all that asthma is not wheeze. So you can present only with coughing and an experiencing of tightness in the chest, as if a huge amount of weight has been put on your chest, and you are experiencing difficulty talking, or in particularly climbing stairs, or in a special group of people, they would get to worse while doing exercise or after playing. That is important. So wheezing is not necessarily a hallmark of asthma, but yes, it will result in wheezing in a patient who has asthma symptoms.
There is a slogan by the Ministry of Government of India that any cough of more than 2 weeks in duration, rule out TB. But remember, that will be a productive cough. A dry cough can be a sign of asthma. So asthmatics can only have a dry asthma. Another question has come from a 24-year-old female, and she has put it on our Liberate platform from Lucknow. And she wants to know, is there any formula when to use an inhaler, when not to use an inhaler? That means I'm not talking about SOS inhaler continuously. She wants to know, how do I know I need a continuous inhaler and not an SOS inhaler?
See, there are two types of inhalers we normally use. One is a curative or immediately relieving inhaler, and second is preventive inhaler. So on a continuous basis, if you have been diagnosed as a mild persistent or moderate persistent asthma, you would be requiring an inhaler combination of particularly inhaled corticosteroids and long acting a bronchodilator, or that is a relieving drug which will open up your tubes. And usually we give it in a moderate doses for 6 weeks, and then we try to reduce the doses. Once your asthma is stable for about 1.5 months to 6 weeks, then we may think of stopping it, but only after a due consultation with a specialist or a person who is treating. It is not that you abruptly stop. So there is no set formula. You have to be symptom free at least for 6 weeks with a mild to moderate doses of a preventive inhaler, which is prescribed by your doctor with the correct technique and the good technique. The most important is technique and compliance. It is not merely just taking inhaler and spraying it in your mouth and not knowing the technique. So it's most important is technique, that the medicine is going inside your lungs, relieving the spasm and the edema and giving you a long-term benefit. So 6 weeks would be the cutoff period of stability to reduce inhaler.
So when we had talked about a steroid, when is a real indication for a steroid? Do we really require steroid in emergency conditions?
Yes, so it is basically an acute worsening of symptoms which has not been relieved by reliever medications of inhalation or nebulization on a short term basis of, let's say, a day or 2 days or 3 days. Then you would like to add a oral corticosteroids, and the doses are defined by milligram per kg, or standard would be 40 milligram of prednisolone per day for 3 days. And of course it can be continued up to 7, 10 or 14 days, and as to the contrary belief earlier, there is no need to taper them off. So you must continue till the patient is comfortable and is adopted back to his usual schedule of inhalers, and then you can discontinue. Or even in emergency condition, when a patient is admitted, you need corticosteroid.
Couple of questions have come on the laboratory platform from Jaipur, and all of them relate to the family history. And one question is, my grandmother had asthma, am I at increased rate? Second is, my father has. Third is, my mother has. And the fourth question is, if both my mother and father are asthmatics, do I have a chance of getting an asthma?
There is definite link of genetics to asthma, but single parent or grandparent having asthma usually is not linked to a sibling having an asthma. But definitely both parents, the chances are 30% that either of the siblings can have asthma. And there is an asthma predictive index which has been developed, but it doesn't hold true in practical life. It is how you have primed your earlier lives to the environment, and if you are predisposed, suppose you have some predisposition of asthmatic genes or asthmatic lymphocytic predominance in the lungs, and you are exposed to an environment which is suited to develop asthma, you would definitely develop asthma. But if you get out of that environment, you may not develop asthma.
A 42-year-old male on our laboratory platform has asked from Hyderabad triggers of asthma, and specifically question is coming to cockroach.
Usually there are a few triggers are environmental triggers, and environmental could be outdoor pollutants or allergens or indoor allergens. So in indoor allergens, cockroach dust is the most important. In fact, more than that is the house dust and the house dust mite, and these are perennial allergens, and it is not necessarily that during seasons of worsening, that is particularly the weather when it is humid or rainy season, that you get more. So cockroach is one of the identifiable agents, but if you have sensitivity, then you have to prove it by a blood test or by a skin prick test. Other triggers are non-specific triggers like diesel exhaust, changes in environment, particularly if there is a change from sudden warm to cold and humid climate, rainy climate, or a cold wind, or a viral trigger. We have in children viral induced wheeze, a viral infection of the nose and the throat can trigger a wheeze. So these are the few triggers, and exercise of course is the most important trigger.
What about peanuts? What about oranges, lemon, citrus fruits, milk? Somebody say I'm allergic to milk. Can any allergen cause asthma or the?
Usually food allergens beyond 5 to 6 years are not considered the allergens. Especially exceptions are peanuts and chana, or we have that black gram. So these two things are well known. Cow milk allergy is pretty common in children, and they can have asthma trigger because they share a cross reacting allergen with something in the environment. It is not necessarily that the cow milk drinking itself can cause asthma. So it's a cross reacting allergen. So you must know what your triggers are, avoid them if possible, or else at least be on treatment.
I mean, I'm flooded with on laboratory platform, flooded with questions from Delhi. They says our CM has done a odd and even rule of vehicles in Delhi, odd and even numbers. Is it going to reduce pollution? If yes, is it going to make my asthma better?
Definitely, if the previous experience of the first month we see of the odd even, basically the suspended particulate dust level definitely went down. The pollution went down in pockets. It was not purely that entire pollution was wiped out, and people did report less irritant diseases like eye irritation or seasonal cough or irritant cough. Whether it was truly related to asthma is yet to be seen, because it's a short period of time when we had this odd even formula and less number of vehicles at that particular.
But as a whole, less pollution would mean less precipitation.
Less precipitation.
Specifically,
and less severe asthma.
Specifically, the severity of asthma may be low because of your low SO2, low NO2, your low carbon monoxide, low PM 2.5, PM 1.0, PM 10, all these particles, if they are low, definitely they can, at least they can make the asthma milder if you're going to
Life
get it.
easier for our
Life easier for the people with that. Another question from Chandigarh specifically has asked is that they say that people who are emotional, crying, weeping, they see a sad news and suddenly go into an attack of asthma. Is it true that stress triggers asthma?
Definitely stress triggers asthma, and once again you should know how much stress can trigger asthma, because stress is it's not a measurable quotient. So how much stress one can bear, and whether it is related to stress induced asthma or exacerbations, every time you are taking a stress or you are stressed. So you should know it, and if it is so, then it is best to get out of the stress and take the preventive inhaler if that is a usual preventing you from getting out of the stress induced asthma.
Another question which has come from Mizoram is that I get a peculiar type of asthma. When I play cricket, I become asthmatic. What is this exercise induced asthma?
Usually all exercise induced asthmas are whenever you are doing the strenuous exercise, you would not feel breathless. The moment you stop, immediately you will get an attack. So invariably it is prevented by taking a long acting inhaler before doing any strenuous exercise, playing a long game of badminton or even playing football. And it is not that sportsmen are not asthmatic. One of the best gold medalists in Olympians have been asthmatic.
Even Ian Botham, the English, the opening bowler was an asthmatic and he used to take an inhaler and then bowl.
Exactly, and the Mark Spitz, well-known 7 gold medal swimmer winner from Australia, was an asthmatic. So you take the inhaler about at least half an hour before the exercise or anticipated exercise, and you will be free from asthmatic symptoms. And swimming remains one of the best exercise which is least asthmogenic, as we call it. Running would definitely precipitate more asthma.
So is it possible that I can totally prevent asthma? People say homeopath, Ayurveda, naturopath they can cure asthma. Is it controllable? Is it curable? And is it preventable?
So out of these, 2 are correct, 1 is not correct. It is not 100% curable that a short course or a long course of medication like an infection would permanently cure the person of disease of asthma. But definitely it is a chronic, preventable and totally controllable disease in the hands of patient himself and a doctor correctly treating the disease. If you are taking regular inhalers, monitoring your triggers, monitoring your exercise, and monitoring even the pollutants, as Sir said, in the atmosphere, and preventing you from going out in those particular days or areas where it is highly polluted. So you would probably be controlling asthma 10% and living a very healthier life.
So asthma is a chronic inflammatory controllable disease. So and it's no more a stigma to be attached. An asthmatic can get married, can produce children, can play cricket, can win Olympics. Everything can be done with that. Before I end, my last question to Dr. Animesh is, just to summarize, is there anything new in the treatment of asthma? Let's thank Dr. Arya for being with us and answering all our queries on this World Asthma Day. And so we thank you. Thank you for the same. And for our viewers, if you have any health related query regarding asthma, again, you can log on to www.livebrate.com. That's all for today. We'll come back with one more show next time. Till that, goodbye.
Thank you.